Patty Jenkins is official. Army Hammer squashes rumors. New rumors on Shazam. And Aquaman's almost done filming, y'all.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's DC Movie News.
In the great hall of the Justice League, there are assembled the world's 4 greatest heroes, created from the cosmic legends of the universe.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is DC Movie Show right here. DC Movie News Show, I should say, right here on the Popcorn Talk Network. We got a full squad in the house. Once again, Mike Kalinowski, there's so much crime to fight, and he just will not sleep until all the crime is gone. So he will not be joining us today, but make sure you follow him, as you all do, at Mike Kalinowski. We are at DC Movies SK on Twitter, Facebook.com/DC Movies SK. Jonny Loquasto, right here at JQuasto on the social medias. The man right there to my left, he's the host of Man vs. Child on FYI, as well as FX Movie Download on FX, and he's the verse mocker in all of your hearts, and as well as Doghouse Restaurants. He's Adam Gertler.
Hey!
What up, buddy?
Not too much. All right, pretty mellow week for the DC world as far as news, but there was some, the news that dropped today that we're going to talk about in a little bit from Mr. Chris McKay while on the road promoting the Ninjago movie.
Yep.
Got me really excited.
Okay.
As did the movie It. Saw that in the theater. Did you guys go see that?
Yeah,
I saw it at the Vista Theater on Sunset in
Love
Los
the Vista.
Feliz, and this was like the perfect movie to see there. The guy that manages the theater always dresses in costume.
What?
Oh my God.
Yeah,
As It?
and he dressed as Pennywise, and
Okay.
he was like, "Welcome to my movie," because he had the fake teeth in there. It was great, and a packed house on a freaking Tuesday.
I
Wow.
mean, the Rotten Tomatoes score has
surprise
been
me.
ridiculously good.
It's it's a fun movie to see in a big crowd, and I don't like horror movies because they're never about the protagonist. I mean, I shouldn't generalize. There's many different kinds of horror movies. I don't like those kinds of horror movies, but this is very much about the protagonist. It's a Stephen King adaptation, one of the best we've seen in a long time. After The Dark Tower, which kind of sucked.
Sure.
Which I didn't even see, but you know.
So, question, is this just a remake? Because I remember it from like the early 90s.
That was a TV series.
Sure.
So same subject, but a TV movie version.
We've never had a feature film of it?
Never.
Really?
It came out in 1986, and
Okay.
this is, So it's great.
That's exciting.
It was very exciting. So movies are good. I mean, movies are back. I like them. And we're going to talk about some movies that are not Stephen King.
No.
Do you think they should be DC related, maybe, or
Which ones?
the ones we're going to talk about?
I mean,
This is all gonna be about it for the next
cool.
hour.
Cool.
and a lot of sensuality. The lady to Adam Gertler's left, she is an amazing actress, cosplayer, panel moderator, and of course our BFF on the DC Movie News Show. Find her everywhere at Elena Jordan. She's Elena Jordan.
Hey.
What up, girl?
How are ya?
We're good.
I feel like we clapped for Adam.
Sorry.
No!
Clap for me. I'll take it.
Done. How you feeling? Good to have you back?
It's good to be back. It's
Excellent.
always good to be here.
And
back?
back again.
Shady's back.
How many songs can we break out into in 1 hour?
Guess who's back?
Guess who's back? Guess who's back?
Keep going.
Guess who's back?
Uh-huh.
This is why we sit next to each other. And the crown jewel of the DC Movie News Show. She's also the host of TV Fights on Screen Junkies and so much more. She's wearing an amazing Sesame Street cutoff t-shirt, which is not very elementary school correct, but I love her for it. Find her everywhere at Roxy Striar. She's Roxy Striar.
Is this shadow boxing what that is?
It's a little more like just lashing out.
Kind of.
You're kind of lashing out is what you're doing, in a way.
I don't know if boxers would call that boxing.
We'll
In
say
my own
shadow
right?
boxing.
In your own, she's quite the boxer in her own.
Johnny, can we rewind for a
It's
second here
shadow
for a second?
boxing.
Please rewind.
Oh, that was pretty good.
Be kind. Rewind. VHS.
Yeah.
Before her time.
You know, I have to tell you every time that you don't do something millennial approved.
Which is often.
And, you know, we like to cut off the ends of our words, so it's no longer official. It's just a fish.
Fish.
It's a fish.
Okay.
Like, oh my God,
Yeah.
Patty Jenkins, she's a fish.
Oh,
Not
fish.
to be confused like Wanda the fish.
And the chat roll is already tying it back, my It rant, to the Joker and saying that Bill Skarsgård would be a great young Joker.
Yes. Oh, totally.
Because he already had that makeup on.
That's totes a fish.
That's
Wow.
so it's a fish. Wait,
No,
it's not a fish.
That's not a fish.
It's not a fish.
Is it now a
That's
millennial
so it's not
thing
a
to say
fish, to just
official?
lie.
Like literally?
Like
Has
liter-
a fish become the new literally where it doesn't mean the actual
It's-
I don't
net
know.
root of
He's
the word?
literally going to be the Joker.
It's literally a fish that he's the Joker.
Right now, Mike Kalinowski's head would
He's
be
literally
exploding.
a fish.
Yeah.
They're actually going to cast an actual fish as the Joker.
Yes.
You heard it here first.
My brain is hurting.
Mikey Christmas's head would explode right now
Ugh.
if
Just
he was
saying.
here.
He wouldn't be wrong.
All right, well, that's great news.
Everyone in the chat, no one talks like that. You don't hang around enough millennials then, okay?
People who
Fish.
have places to go talk like that.
Slay.
Yeah, there's just not enough time to get all the syllables out. You gotta shorten them
Exactly.
up.
Oh yeah, totes.
So I'll ship it. I'll ship that. Okay.
What did I tell you
With
about
what?
ship?
I don't know.
What
you
did I
told
tell
me?
you about
I have
What
a
are
short
you
memory,
shipping it
Roxy. I
with?
don't know what you told me.
Ship is kind of out.
Oh, really?
Move us on,
it?
Johnny. Don't embarrass yourself any
All
further.
right, first story of the day, and like I said, it's been a slow news week, and this is something we already knew was happening, but we might as well celebrate it. The fact that Patty Jenkins has officially signed on for Wonder Woman 2. She's going to direct it
fish.
and be a co-writer and make just a few more pennies on the dollar.
Popping bottles.
Yeah,
so
right. Don't do it. In that was a weird
Yeah,
gesture.
that was a weird way to pop bottles.
And that's why
How
I
are
have
you
to
popping
wear.
bottles?
There's multiple bottles.
You can't pop bottles like this.
Like-
you have to either pop a bottle like this, or you could like pop a bottle of champagne like that.
You know when you pop the champagne and then they
Oh, you're shaking the
yeah,
champagne.
shaking the champagne.
And then you
That-
could.
So
when-
Patty Jenkins only
Yeah,
made
pop
$1
the
million
bottle.
for the first one, but she's gonna make between $7 and $9 million. For
How much
this
did she
one,
make
so
for the first
that's
one?
Cool, $1 million.
That's
I was
pretty
trying to
good.
just
I think
gently
this is-
segue away from what was happening.
Yeah, I got you. I
And
think
Roxy,
that
what
that's-
happens when you make $7 million? You pop what?
Pop the bottles. You're popping
God.
bottles. Listen,
we're
I think
back.
that this
We're
is
just
awesome.
back.
This is really great because she deserves it when you prove
Yes.
yourself. Because anybody who's saying that Gal should have made more in the first movie or Patty should have made more in the first movie, you have to come in and you have to play the game and prove yourself. And they have. And now they're being rewarded because $7 to $9 million, that ain't
Plus
pennies.
points on the back end. That's
Yeah.
the big thing.
The back
is
end
because
points, she'll be making money
I
forever.
love when I get
Yeah.
points
I
on
don't
my
know
back
if it
end.
was like in a movie or somewhere where like
Points for that
basically
back end.
somebody was describing the idea of a negotiation where it is like, I want to take all your money and you want to give me nothing, and hopefully we meet somewhere in the middle.
Right.
So, Gal should take as much as she can before she says no to play Wonder Woman. Like, what's your walk away point?
Sure.
You know what I mean? They're not obligated to pay anybody $1 more than that walk away point. Only time you have power in a negotiation is when you walk away from that negotiation. If you cut the other side, then that's your power.
So if you were Patty in this situation, Adam, what would be
I've got
your
all the
walkaway?
power.
What would be your walkaway point?
It's probably more complicated than money. It was back end points.
Yeah.
Because points are huge because
That's
it says
the big
now we're
thing.
partners. Right? Now I'm a partner in the film, and now I'm doubly motivated on top of getting a big paycheck. If this movie performs as well as the last one, then I have this to gain just from the financial side, but then also she has creative input or budget input. So it's more complicated than just a dollar amount. So I have no idea because I'm not a director, but I know that she had the power in this negotiation. Because she could have walked away and been hired anywhere to do anything.
Right.
And Warner Brothers had to hire her.
But at the same time, do you think Warner Brothers was really upset about giving her an extra so many $1 million when the movie is already close to $1 billion?
This was a protracted negotiation. As far as I understand. It was
I think
complicated.
she probably asked for closer to 20, I would imagine, and then got talked down, but got the back end points. Which
Yeah,
I think
I mean-
is the big thing is getting the back end.
Honestly,
points.
back end points she'll be getting for the rest of her life.
Yeah, that's
And
worth
Roxy,
way more than your upfront.
We don't need a gesture for back end points. That's not something you need to
Not for the rest of her
physicalize.
life, really?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. Yeah, and when you talk about a lot of different things that she has say in, I think that probably, like you're talking about creatively, that would lead us into our next point and what's happening with Wonder Woman.
yeah.
That's right.
You're excited about this, Lena.
Well, I just think it's cool that Patty Jenkins. So I guess we'll just
Talk
say
about
what
it,
it is.
yeah.
So she's going to be co-writing this, but she's going to be co-writing with David Callahan, who wrote Expendables, who she was supposed to do a movie called Jackpot with, but then got the gig for Wonder Woman, so then she did Wonder Woman instead, obviously. But now that she's doing Wonder Woman 2, she's like, okay, I'm bringing in my boy, and he's going to co-write it with
That's
me.
great.
And he
Which
knows
I think is
action.
awesome.
Clearly he knows action. Now my question, was he involved in all the Expendables?
I heard maybe Expendables 2, I think I read.
I think it was
Now-
Expendables 2.
How do you guys feel about Expendables movies?
I mean, here's the thing. They're not heavy on dialogue or story, we'll say that.
My favorite part of the first one, and nobody backs me on this, was Mickey Rourke. By far. That was my favorite part, and he wasn't in any of the other movies. I don't particularly like those movies, but I certainly don't condemn this writer because of the Expendables, because if Patty Jenkins likes the guy,
Right.
and she's the one who made this woman, like, and she wants to help craft a story with a writer that she can guide, that's why I buy it. But beyond
I
that,
just think it's cool that if she was supposed to do something and then she had to kind of pull back on those negotiations to do something else, that then she still looks out for
to get him
Yeah,
a project,
that's what I think.
I
absolutely.
think that's really cool.
I
It's
love that you
loyalty.
point that out, Elena, because she totally could not.
Yeah, she could have just been like, well, now I'm
Moving
Patty
on,
Jenkins
yeah.
from Wonder Woman, so
Right.
And it's interesting because Fuchs is working on a different project, so I guess they are not using the writers. And I think also Jeff Johns is working on the story for this one as well. But
What is
yeah,
Fuchs working on?
Fuchs just got hired, I believe, to work on a live-action RoboCop film. Excuse me, Robotech,
Whoa.
not RoboCop. Robotech,
Yeah.
which I've never actually seen, but my girlfriend loves Robotech.
I don't even know what that is.
So I need to. Oh, Robotech
Yeah,
is
you're
like,
right. That was announced a day ago.
Yeah, so Robotech is like big deal mech.
Is it an anime?
It's anime, yeah.
Yeah.
But now they're doing a live action Robotech. It's been around since like the 80s. It's had many iterations. But it's just interesting. So it's just like Patty Jenkins came onto the last film when it was already in development. Now she gets to like, this is like
Her
Mangold.
playing field.
Yeah.
This is Mangold coming on to not the Wolverine,
Her
but
battlefield.
Logan. Because Mangold came on to the Wolverine in production already, in pre-production. He came on to Logan from the ground.
Yeah.
So that means that they're really going to have a lot of creative freedom. And I love the fact that it's rumored to be not advancing the timeline, because we don't know what's going on in the future
Yeah.
of the DCEU, but we could go back and tell whatever stories we want to
So
tell.
when you say
Cold
not
War.
advancing the timeline, you're talking about the fact that it might just be a continuation from present day whenever Wonder Woman ended.
Well, he's saying that it's not going to be in the timeline. It's not going to be after Justice League, before the next film. It's not advancing the timeline in that
right.
way.
The rumor is that it's a period piece, that it's
it's
Cold
supposed
War.
to be Cold War, which
Great.
is
Well, she can
not
travel
gonna-
in time. So just like the last one, maybe she'll start off in present day, and then guess what?
That's true. It could use the same sort of device, and again, we don't know what's
I
going to
think it
happen
would
with.
be a little more challenging to have her start in present day, because when we have her starting at the museum, unless we have her starting in that same situation, how long is she working at this museum for? Like, how long is that her cover? And are we just going to keep going back there?
Right. She probably moved on.
I love that. It's a great, mild-mannered job.
Yeah.
It's very like, I love that.
But beautiful and poignant.
belongs in a museum.
She belongs in a museum. That lasso belongs in a museum with the whip. Also,
That's the
Godzilla, Callahan worked on the story for Godzilla, which
Yeah.
I love that new Godzilla just because I love the main character, the lead character. His name is Godzilla. He's got another film coming out next year.
Godzilla,
I don't know
who was
about-
in 20% of the movie, that lead character.
He's very expensive. He's very expensive to show up for a scene.
He asked for more than Patty did.
Listen,
Oh, right, because the end of that one, isn't that when Godzilla just went back in the water?
he always goes back in the water. At the
Yeah.
end.
I love it.
Move. But no,
That's
so he
his
worked on the
move.
story for it, which, like, you know, I don't know. But come on, you guys don't love Godzilla?
I really liked Godzilla.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just love the character. I love the actor. I mean, I saw the new one, Shin Godzilla.
That was great.
Wasn't it great?
It was so good.
It was so different, and it looked great, and it was was it a combination of CG and man in suit?
Oh yeah, definitely.
It was.
practical and also CG, like the lasers and everything. But there was like classic man in suit.
It's classic, and like so much talking, and Americans are always the bad guys in these movies. We're
Good,
always-
Americans suck.
Yeah, we were about to blow
Kidding.
up Japan again.
Because we're selfish and it's all about the oil. That's usually what happens in every
Yeah,
movie.
it was something like that.
Well, here's some
Okay.
really exciting news. Chris McKay.
Yeah. I got
Know what I did there?
I'm picking up what you're
Okay,
laying
moving
down.
on.
What?
Like, okay.
Is that
Chris McKay.
Chris
moving
McKay.
on.
another
Once
millennial
again, another fabulously
Chris
smooth
is throwing
segue, completely destroyed by Roxy throwing
it.
Jackson Granite in the middle of the oil slick.
Okay.
Oh boy, we'll edit this out.
No, we won't.
Okay, talk about
It's
McKay now.
staying in.
Chris McKay.
So, as excited as we are for a possible Nightwing feature film, Chris McKay's even more excited, and he has a lot of expletives to prove it in his quote. I don't even know how I'm going to get...
But wait, before we get to the quotes...
Yes, please.
I just want to say, this is one of those movies that people have talked about, like, oh, nobody's been talking about it.
Nightwing is what you're
Right, Nightwing, sorry. And, like, where'd it go? Nobody knows what's happening with DCU. And it's like, this is one of the only, like, official things, because we have a creator. He's out there promoting a Warner Brothers property, talking about another Warner Brothers property, Nightwing film, and then this description. If this doesn't get you excited, then you are watching the wrong show. You should click over to a different show. You probably...
Okay.
I kind of like when Roxy fake cusses. I think she should read these.
Oh.
No, she should read the quote. I think it would be...
All right.
All right. Cool.
I think it's fair.
Here we go.
By the way, this is a guy who's promoting a Lego movie, and in the promotion for the Lego movie, this is the quote he gives. Okay.
Yeah.
I won't interrupt anymore.
It's gonna be a badass action movie with a lot of heart and emotion. It's gonna be a crazy fun ride. Whoever gets cast as Nightwing and any of the other actors around are gonna go through a boot camp experience because it's gonna be a lot.
And...
It's gonna be a lot. Fast forward. I'm not gonna do a lot of CG. F that. He didn't actually say F that.
That's fine.
It's gonna be all real It's gonna be real stunt work, and they're gonna need to do all of the stuff on camera and do it credibly. For the cast and the crew, it's gonna be a visceral experience, and for the audience, it's gonna be like a lot of these movies where there's a lot of CG and flying and things like that. Everything he does is gonna have to be real.
It's not going to be like that.
And he said it just like the teacher in Christmas Story said
Yeah.
you'll shoot your eye out.
And the final quote is when he talks about this. I love that one.
Oh, it's still on Roxy.
Yep.
His superpower is being really good as a human being at fighting and gymnastics and like that. So you're going to see that on screen. It's going to be fun.
That's my favorite quote is, and gymnastics, and like that. That's the best part.
I just
Like, those flippity
he's gonna be
floppities.
really effing good as a human being. That's his superpowers. He's just really effing good at all that.
Well, I think it's actually important that he added that in there because the majority of people don't know who Nightwing is.
Sure.
That's just the truth. If you're watching the show, you probably do. If you aren't, then you probably don't. And you read an article like this, and you're like, oh, who is Nightwing? What does he do? Does he go through walls? Is he invisible? Does he fly? His superpower is being really effing good as a human being.
This film will clearly have to be an origin story.
I think
Oh,
so.
100%.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, people will be like, what is happening, Batman? Like,
Sure.
nobody
Yeah.
will know.
I think what excites me about that
confusion,
quote is that,
Batman.
like, I love stuff like Netflix's Daredevil. Obviously, like, The Raid is great. Also, The Crow. This makes me think of The Crow, but, like, with a little bit more heart. It doesn't have the weight of it having to be Batman. You still have... This is a way of kind of doing, like, a young Batman movie, but he's different. You're introducing Dick Grayson for the first time in a real way outside of, the Batman and Robin and Batman Forever, Chris O'Donnell ones. This,
What do you think about the CG comments?
That's what I love the most. I mean, like, it's
Yeah.
going to be real parkour, like that real, like, imagine like a
Parkour.
Daredevil, the Netflix show, but with a real big budget. And also, those comments make me think that a big budget is not going to be $100 million, but this is going to be like a $75 million movie, which is like a sweet spot, and it can't lose, and you can take risks.
Yeah.
I really like anything that anytime that people really focus on doing practical effects and practical stunts, I always think that it looks better. So
Well, what's
it's cool
crazy
that he's
is
excited about it.
the release date is February 1st, 2019. That's like a year and a half away.
Yeah.
But is that an official release date?
No, well, nothing's ever official.
So
but
where are you
Is
getting
it
that
Toads
release
a
date
Fish?
from?
at the bottom of this article.
It says Nightwing is expected to...
Yes.
It says
February?
Nightwing, Totes a Fish, Feb,
Yeah,
2019.
I
cool.
promise
Totes
you
a
that
fish.
is not totes a fish, but
No, for sure.
If they put it into production like anytime in the next year, it's certainly doable. It's just not a film that's going to need a really long time to shoot. I just don't know
What do you
if
guys-
Warner Brothers has ever said that that's an official release date.
What do you
think
think
it
about
is.
the fact he says whoever gets cast as Nightwing and any of the other actors
Yeah.
around? Do you think that's because they literally don't know where they're going with the story, so he couldn't name any other characters, or do you think that's because he knew people would speculate too much if he named other characters, or how far into his development just like loosely is.
I think he's just trying to generally say it's not just going to be Nightwing being a badass. You're going to see lots of badass scenes with lots of badass characters
A lot of
doing their
badassery.
general badassery across the
I
board.
think our boy Sky Patterson has a great kind of quote here.
He's
trying
your
to think
boy.
about.
He's definitely your
He's
boy.
your boy too. Sky loves you.
Okay.
Sky's my boy too.
The Batman is action, crime, noir drama thriller, and Nightwing will be action, adventure, drama. So more like Indiana Jonesy flavor, probably, than like heavier, Baroque noir. Like I guess that Crow comparison is more of like in the Batman kind of world. But are we gonna see Bloodhaven?
Well, what do you guys think about this from Ivan Soto? Dylan O'Brien as Nightwing.
I love Dylan O'Brien.
I love him,
I
too.
think he is awesome. I think he would be incredible.
He
is badass.
That is certainly a
Age.
right call. The right age, the
Yeah.
right type. You don't want someone that's really tall because, the difference between Batman and Robin and Nightwing is like that leaner, smaller, but he's flipping. He's a flying Grayson.
Yeah.
So how do you
He's
feel
also
about-
well known enough that he would have a fan base, but not so well known that you would be distracted.
I had to look him up. I don't know who he is. But
He's
Maze
great. He was in
Runner,
Maze Runner,
Teen
Teen
Wolf.
Wolf,
American
he was
Assassin.
in American Assassin.
Opening-
How do you feel about
Michael
Dog
Keaton.
96 Soldier says Zac Efron for Nightwing?
See that?
Too
I would
stuck.
be
Don't like it.
distracted. Yeah, that's the difference.
Don't like it because I don't see that. I just don't see that character in his work. Like Dylan O'Brien's got that like wide-eyed, like he's super youthful. I was just listening to an interview with him today. He's like, I actually interviewed him for the first Maze Runner film. Like
I love that movie, by the way.
He's a jokester.
good.
He's got that kind of jokesy vibe around him. Zac Efron, like I just don't.
well, Efron's done Baywatch and Neighbors. Those are
No,
two
I'm not saying that
goofy-ass
I'm not saying that he doesn't do comedy. He does comedy. I just mean there's like a
The
youthful
physicality too,
there-
I think, is different. Like Dylan O'Brien has Maze Runner. He has actual kind of sequences
Yeah.
that he understands how it looks on screen when you move certain ways in fight sequences. That I think that would read a lot better.
What about Logan Lerman? I'm reading off of ZS's list now. There's a lot of people suggesting in the chat.
Logan Lerman, I think that's another one could be good.
Yeah, I think he would be really good.
Someone else
Ooh,
is
Anthony says Harry
saying
Styles.
Oh, God. No.
Yeah, Zac Efron on a
Not
caricature.
putting anyone in one
yeah.
direction is Nightwing.
Matthew says Dev Patel.
What do you mean? But he was just in a Chris Nolan
Yeah,
film.
Do you think Dev Patel is too
He was
tall?
apparently amazing in Dunkirk. I haven't seen it
Oh, go with non-traditional casting.
Yeah.
I see. Dev Patel, I
Thanks,
think, is
Matthew.
too old.
Too old.
Isn't he like 30 or something? In
I
his
would say
30s?
right around there.
I mean, I guess Nightwing could be at that age, I guess. I mean, Nightwing could be around, I think he should be younger, though. I really do. I think like that I think after 25 is a good time to put down the freaking Robin tights.
Yeah.
And maybe and we still don't
Right around
know.
there.
We still don't know what Robin suit was in BVS.
Get off
Yeah.
your parents' insurance.
That's
get
true.
off the
And I think
Robin
it's-
tights.
Yeah,
Nightwing. I'm
maybe
into it.
maybe Nightwing's been been operating during the events of BVS, and we just didn't know it. Maybe that Robin suit was Jason Todd's suit.
And how do we find him?
You got to believe something's going to play back to BVS in the Nightwing
Yeah.
film, you would hope.
Depends on what's filled in between then.
God, I don't know.
They're going to find
There
a
will
way
be
to-
flashbacks. There will be flashbacks either as Robin
Ooh,
or
Matthew
as when
says-
he left him.
Matthew says Dev is 27. He looks a little older.
Oh.
Handsome, but older.
Yeah. Okay.
27 seems like a good age. I would
Yeah.
say mid 20s. That 25, like you were saying.
This would be a good opportunity. I would want to see Affleck in this film in some cameo capacity if he is in fact moving forward, because you have to have Bruce Wayne, Batman, somehow referenced or in this film. I would think it's important.
Absolutely.
To show the breakup, to show when they went their different ways. I think that's a really important thing. Like, why is he doing this? Why is he going off and becoming his own character?
And
Like,
also, I feel like there are people who go to see this movie and don't realize that it's in the DCEU. And then you see Batman and you're like, oh,
Got it.
that's where this goes in life. Like, and I don't mean that even to offend anybody. There's some people who just don't pay attention to that
Yeah.
kind of thing, which is totally fine. But I think that that will help draw people, and definitely they would stick that in the trailer. And then you're like, oh, it's a Batman friend to Batman.
yeah, but
friend
I
of the
mean,
Batman.
they dealt with that pretty well with Suicide Squad. No one knew what Suicide Squad was, and people came out for that, and they got...
Well, if you put massive names on it, but I don't know if you put a massive name with Nightwing.
The marketing for that one is very different than I think the marketing for Nightwing will be. So I think.
And they did market out of Joker for Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
And they put
like-
Batman in the trailer, and he was in the movie for like 4.5 minutes.
I know.
Yeah, 4.5 was generous.
It really sounds like it would be awesome to put Deathstroke in this movie. Just
Nightwing.
makes so much sense.
Yeah.
And Nightwing, yeah, because Sky Patterson is confirming that Robin costume is Jason Todd. Shut up, Sky! You don't know
fish.
that.
It's a fish.
Not a fish, Sky.
It's a fish.
People
Never
always
said
just
it.
Trying to make things.
No one
a
ever
fish.
mentioned Jason.
You can't say things are a fish if you know they're a fish.
Yeah, if it's a dog, it's not a fish.
I know it's like you're saying that because like the Warner Brothers tour person
Unless
said
it's a
it.
seahorse, then it's kind of both.
Oh my God, Huey Cox, my computer's dirty. Cast Seth Rogen as Nightwing. He'd be hilarious. That would be literally the worst casting I've
That would be
ever
the
heard.
worst.
He
In my
was
whole life.
already the Green Hornet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Green Hornet existed in the same universe as Batman because they did that crossover in the Bill Dozier series, so he couldn't because he'd be in the same universe, so that's why he can't.
And also
Oh, yeah,
Seth
that's-
Rogen.
that is
is,
why.
That's the only reason.
Only reason.
Yeah, Seth Rogen's doing just fine. All right, moving on. Darren Aronofsky basically said that he had his own take adaptation of Batman Year One, and in hindsight, he's looking at what the plans for the Joker standalone film is, and he said basically, I think it's finally 15 years too early because I hear the way they're talking about the Joker movie, and that's exactly what my pitch was.
Sounds a little bitter to me.
Yeah, it's me too. I came up with this 15 years ago.
Kind of.
Did you? Did you?
I didn't. Did you read the rest of the
bro.
quote though? I mean, I don't think
Yeah.
I didn't read it like that. It sounded like here's a guy who knows his comics, and he was like, he was 15 years too early. He's not wrong.
Yeah,
It's not that he's wrong, but like.
I mean, he goes on to
know.
say really complimentary things, and he compliments Chris Nolan, and he says
But he
how
does throw
great
some
everything-
shade at Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
Well, he said, he was going to make the Batmobile a Lincoln Continental with 2 bus engines in it.
Two
which is
bus
great.
engines.
The
Yeah.
duct
Oh,
tape
no,
MacGyver
Joe's for
Batman.
you Spanish
MacGyver
speakers.
Batman.
The MacGyver Batman. Also, he said some of my ideas got out there through other films, like The Ring with BW, Bruce Wayne's ring makes the scar.
What is he referring to there?
I don't know.
I don't know. Chat roll. What does he mean
Bruce
when
Wayne's
BMW?
ring making the scar was our idea, like the ring with BW. Bruce Wayne.
Which is fine. Yeah, he mentioned in Zack Snyder's or something, which is fine. You get these ideas and they get out. We were all reinventing it and trying to make it more Taxi Driver visceral. That was the whole pitch. But the toy
Right.
people were like, "Oh, it can't be a Lincoln Continental. You have to make a Batmobile."
That's true.
Wow.
The toy people.
Okay.
Oh God.
And he said, I was always like, why can't we make a lower budget rated R movie? Just like in comics, you have different brands, and now they're finally doing that. Did they
But
say
it doesn't,
Joker's
you
gonna
don't
be low
think he
budget?
sounds like? No, he's talking about Deadpool and Logan and whatnot.
Okay.
You don't
Yeah.
think that he is saying like, that movie took my idea here, that one took my idea there. I had that
think
idea
it's-
first. That one borrowed from me. It's fine though.
I feel like it's not like an angry, bitter thing, but it is a little bit like, I mean, he's
Guys,
not
there's
being
some
quiet
breaking
about the
news.
fact
Did you
that-
see this? Japan warns citizens to take shelter as North Korea fires a missile.
You're gonna be kidding me.
What?
So, I don't know. I know a lot of people aren't listening to this live, but I just saw that. So that's scary when shit like that happens.
Kim Jong Un is just.
This is why we need heroes, people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where's Batman?
It really is. Let's just hope that their technology is not up to par.
Yeah, I didn't mean to derail everything, guys. I just saw that and got a little freaked out.
That's okay. I have poor transitions. You throw in real life news.
I'm going to see Mother tonight, though. I know some people are mixed on that, but I like Aronofsky movies. They're different, you know? And I was really excited. He was supposed to do the second Wolverine movie.
Wow.
For a while. And that was going to be a rated R movie. And they weren't ready for it at the time. So his point is heard that they're making these, Deadpool and Logan. Now nothing is off the table because of the success of these films.
What do you think about this? Huey says Aronofsky would make a messy but interesting DC film. Do you agree?
Yeah, because he's not interested in telling any kind of super linear tight narrative. I think Christopher Nolan, and he compliments Christopher Nolan, walks that rope a little bit better and certainly knew how to play the game with Warner Brothers and DC better. And Darren Aronofsky is the guy, he just wants to tell his own movies. But I mean, like his first film, Pi, is a freaking superhero movie. It's a guy who's got math superpowers. Check it out.
I
There we
do
go.
like, though, that he does make a point to say like the comics, there's the same character, different brands, there are different, rebirths, there are different editions, there are all these things. This is all coming from the source material that have all these different references. We don't have to make the same linear character. It doesn't always have to be the exact reflection.
Yeah.
Because
There's
that's
so many
that's how it happens in the comics. You go and
Yeah.
you buy like Batman Metal right now. How many different Batmans are on a comic book rack right at this moment? There's the Dark Knight series happening, while there's Metal, while there's Batman and Detective, and they're only tangentially connected at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have all the Elseworld stuff. So I think, and it's also cool to hear a director like him talking, acknowledging the Joker movie rumors, because it makes me think that there's more reality to those rumors.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because he hears the campfire talk.
Don't you feel like that picture
Oh my
makes him
God.
seem like he'd be saying, like, I spit in your food?
Yeah, he's
Anthony
very-
Harrison just had the best one. Anthony Aronofsky would kill a Swamp Thing film. Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
'Cause
1,000 times
Swamp
yes.
Thing can
Really?
be a
Do you
mess,
like
and it can be
Swamp
fun.
Thing? I had no idea.
Oh my god! I just think, but that's
No clue.
mysticism and science and murky.
I just think
and-
it's weird that we've been doing this show for over 2 years and you've never brought him up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not
That's
one
just-
time.
No, I brought him up
Or
last
you were
time.
not a
You
true
hate
fan.
I brought him
Swamp
up
Thing.
last week.
Swamp Thing? No, you didn't.
Zeno Ara said he left the Wolverine because he was getting a divorce. I thought he didn't want to be away from his family. But who knows if that's real? I think his movie was just going to be too wacky for Fox.
All right, what do we got next?
All right, moving on. There is an interesting article that I don't think we need to go over, but it's on BatmanNews.com
You
about how...
love BatmanNews.com. It's your favorite.
I
website.
love it.
I love it too. I just know it's Johnny's.
What do you
homie.
mean? This is just the idea of how everyone could be satisfied? Is this the one you're talking
that's
about?
it. But I mean, we have a lot more to go over in 20 minutes. So
Well,
I mean,
listen, all it's basically saying is just that you could set Matt Reeves' trilogy or movie or whatever before the events of BVS.
Right.
Putting it in the 80s and stuff. That's all. And then that would make Matt Reeves happy. Could have a trilogy that could still exist in the current DCEU. You could still have Affleck being the older Batman moving forward, which
Sure.
would satisfy Affleck. He could do his one more film on his contract, whatever they decide to do with him in the future. Mm-hmm. Gonna crinkle those a little bit?
sorry, I'm really hungry. and
Let's just get a
What are
little
you,
bit
what are
quieter.
you, what
so
are you
can
making?
It's protein
What are you
bar.
Whip
eating?
that out
You want
there.
some?
What
He
is
needs his
it?
Protein.
Protein bar.
No, what kind?
It's chocolate and peanut butter.
So, and then Warner Brothers would be then happy because they would have all their cakes and eat it too, and many, many Batman things to choose from. I just think
And
that's
you know
a very
what? Let them
happy-
eat cake.
Let
Them
them
eat
eat
cake or
protein
protein
bar.
bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jinx.
All
All
right.
right.
Protein bars and eat it too.
Moving on.
Check this out.
Yeah,
New
me and protein
shot of
bar.
Ezra Miller as Barry Allen with a little bit of an Easter egg in it, which is really cool.
What's the Easter egg?
Captain Cold.
Oh, on the computer screen to the left right there?
Yes, sir.
And so this is his lair? Mm-hmm. Or so we're to assume, right, because this is where Bruce Wayne shows up in the trailer. So Barry Allen has got his own little
I don't
flash cave
understand.
going on.
It says holy. This is a picture. Holy shit! There's a Captain Cold Easter egg in the new Flash pick. What am I not seeing? I love Captain Cold.
I'm
at all.
assuming
In
the
the
monitor right
This
there.
deal.
right here.
there's a closer up.
I'm looking at the closer up.
He
Yeah.
also has Rick and Morty pulled up.
What I was wondering what
Yeah.
cartoon that was. Is it Rick and Morty?
Because it says
Rick and Morty,
cold.
yeah.
It says on it. It's not. We're not looking at him. It just says cold. Another word that looks like maybe resistance.
By the way, not to
Yeah.
get off topic, but did anybody see the new Rick and Morty this week?
No.
I still haven't seen it.
Did you see that?
I saw it. It was amazing.
It was amazing,
It was,
right?
it's
I
the
love Rick
best
and Morty, though.
episode they've ever had.
That's what my
hands
girlfriend
down.
said to me. I was like, I think that might have been one of the
I
best
have to see
episodes
it.
ever.
Oh
It's
my
the
gosh.
classic.
I need to see it.
You
'Cause
need-
this is
All
killing
right.
me.
I know people in the chat room saw that Rick and Morty.
Sorry. Going back to the Flash. What do you guys think about the way he looks here? About Ezra Miller in his casual wear.
There you go.
It looks like a cool.
I dig it.
It looks like his cool lair, man. I like it.
And not just the layer. Him. He's
I
very.
think he looks like the way that he's standing and where he looks like he's just like
A
a
kid.
regular dude.
Yeah.
Where
I like
this
it.
this is exactly what we were talking about, the quote about like the Metallica fan, where it's like this is, I think, showing exactly what they're trying
flannel
to
and
get
a
across.
rocker tee. Yeah.
Yeah, is that this is somebody who is a fan of all of these superheroes who is now brought into this world, and we kind of get to experience what it would be like as a regular person who's become a superhero with all these people through his eyes.
Someone just commented also that they heard a rumor there's a reverse Flash Easter egg in that same photo, but that's really looking. deep.
I can barely see anything. My eyes
I
are going.
I definitely feel like there are Easter eggs to be had in there, and I honestly haven't had a time to check out the photo too much. But
I love the fact that people like legit taking magnifying glass to it, and they're like, "Oh, wait, what can we have here?"
what do you guys feel like the general temperature is for Justice League in general coming
Well,
out?
we did see Captain
lukewarm.
Cold, so I would say
Lukewarm.
cold.
I don't feel that way, but I feel that is the consensus.
Really?
Really?
I'd be shocked with that.
After Wonder Woman, people were on a high about it, but
Sure.
since all the other things, I think it's gonna frickin' rock our socks. But I'm hearing a lot of, I'm excited.
I think
like
it's
that.
all about how this experiment comes together. You know, it's really like,
Yeah.
I mean, it seems so obvious to say if it's good, it's going to do great. If it's not, it'll still do pretty good. I know, like, the anticipation is up, and people are saying you got Thor, you got Justice League both coming out in November, and, you know, now...
I think it's going to do really well.
I think it will do
Yeah.
well. Suicide Squad did well.
I honestly, yeah, I don't care how it does. I just hope it...
I think it's going to be good.
I hope it's good.
Well, Adam, that's crazy to say because you do care how it does. Because if it doesn't do well and it's a good movie, then we're screwed.
Yeah.
Well, if it doesn't do well and it's a good movie, I'll be much happier than if the opposite is true.
Right.
That's
I'd be like,
in the
well, everybody
moment.
got stupid.
Yeah. Stop. Hammer time.
Oh no. Army Hammer has squashed some rumors. He was doing an interview with ET Canada, and the actor
Dropping the
confirmed
hammer.
that he hasn't spoken to anyone from DC and Warner Brothers about joining the league. As Hal Jordan, his quote, no one's called me, no, nothing. So either he is just swerving us, or that actually hasn't happened.
No, I think he's getting annoyed. I think that's what's happening. Not with DC, with people. Like, how many times can he tell us? I'm not Army. I mean, I am Army.
Jordan.
I'm not Hal Jordan. I am not in the DCU right now. I was not cast as Hal Jordan. I'm not any of the Green Lantern. You can ask me however many ways you want to ask. No one's called me. No, nothing.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
no,
I don't think it's
no.
a swerve. I think he genuinely has not been contacted, and he's like, at first was like, this is cool that fans think that this is a neat
Yeah,
thing.
it's funny.
But after a while, when you have to constantly be like, no, I was not hired on that project, that's not fun to have to say over and over again.
Yes. Right. Canucks fan says maybe Army Hammer shouldn't troll to begin with. I thought he was funny at first. Now it's like,
dug it.
let's move. Let's
Well,
move forward.
I mean, the question is if we're gonna have, we have no idea who the Green Lantern would be then. At this point,
Well, I really hope that the Green Lantern does appear in Justice League, but as we've suspected, it doesn't need to be one of the Earth Sector ones, or it could be a
Right.
previous or older one. It doesn't need to be Army.
it could just be a green
Do
light.
you think
Well, they
that
were
Jon
talking
Stewart and Hal Jordan will be announced at the same time when we finally know who they are?
They should be, I think, yes.
I think so.
Probably.
If you're gonna have a core movie in like buddy cop style, you should release
If
them.
they're
both.
the stars of that film, then I think you would announce them both at the same time. Now, that doesn't mean that the rumor mill is going to be really close to predicting weeks before one or the other, but it's also possible they're really not cast right now because
What do you
that
think about
movie is far.
Tyrese Gibson? What they're saying, how Tyrese is saying he's taken several meetings.
Oh, he said.
Has he said he's
He's
taken
been
the
saying
meetings?
it for a year and a half.
Yeah, he's been
Why?
talking about it for a long,
I'm
long
over him.
time.
I'm
More
so over it.
recently.
Yeah.
Done with it?
pretty much.
It's not really the same
Done.
situation, Matthew Leach, as Reeves and Affleck getting asked about Batman because they are officially tied to that property.
Yeah.
Armie Hammer is not tied to anything, so
I like Javon
Not exactly the
916, Sterling K. Brown for Jon Stewart. I've always thought that was great.
oh, that's brilliant. Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah, that's a great casting.
Real quick note here: Aquaman will officially be wrapping at the end of September, and then so in other words, it was in principal photography for about 6 months.
It will be what wrapping?
It will be officially wrapping. A fish wrapping.
It's a fish.
It'll be a fish wrapping.
Did you learn nothing, Jonny Loquasto?
Did you say a fish wrapping, not just it's a fish wrap and
it is a fish wrap?
It's gonna be sushi at the end of September.
It's
totes a
wraps.
fish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's a fish.
It's gonna be sushi, guys. End of September. That's what's happening.
Yes.
I feel like
a
that,
fish
that
wrap.
could catch on.
What? It could.
Sushi.
Oh,
And
that's
martini
so
shot.
sushi.
Hey, girl,
if
you a
martini
fish?
shot is the thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you a fish? I'm sushi. That could work.
No, because then you're saying
No.
you're the same thing.
I'm also. Yeah, that doesn't.
You
Are
a
you
fish?
official?
Because I'm hungry.
Okay.
It's better than
But saying
'cause
that
I'm
something
sushi.
officially wraps and calling
Are
it
you a
sushi,
fish?
I like
Because
that.
I'm sushi?
Yeah,
that was the
doesn't
worst
work.
line ever.
No, because you're saying that could catch on.
Because I want you to die and then I want to sear you?
No, but you said a fish wrap. That's a sushi, essentially, in a way.
I mean, listen, a fish wrap is a sushi, but I think we're probably a bit far afield at this point.
Yes, we
Yeah,
certainly are.
moving forward.
Moving on, Arrow producer says DC's plans for Deathstroke have changed. So, Mark Guggenheim said some things.
This is getting into TV time.
That's why we put it at the end. Yeah, because it bridges.
Ish territory. Yeah, it did bridge when it was going at the end. Now we have 3 stories after it. But we can talk about it now anyway.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, all right.
Well, okay, so he
there's
says, I'll then you piggyback. It was a function of, DC control these characters. We went through a period where DC was like, we've got plans for Deathstroke, don't include Arrow. That changed at the end of this year. Boom.
Yeah, so we've speculated on this and talked about this many times about how the movie universe controls the TV universe and what characters they're allowed to use and when they're allowed to use them. That's no, what is it called when you're trying to hide something? Nobody's trying to hide that. They've talked about it many, many times. And Deathstroke is one of those characters that they both keep seeming to back and forth battle for. But the fact that Deathstroke came back to Arrow, we were all a little confused. Like, wait a second, we thought the movie had the rights to him. Now what's going on? And it seems like at the end of this year, Guggenheim saying it changed. So now Deathstroke is back. Whether or not he survives the island, spoilers, that will be seen.
So now I was confused about this. Are they referring to the Deathstroke storyline that had happened, or is season 6 have another Deathstroke storyline?
To be happening. They were saying before, kind of like how they said, they were going to do a Suicide Squad type thing that they disbanded because.
Oh, you mean like a Suicide Squad?
Because in the movie said, hey, we're doing this, don't do that anymore. They had a Deathstroke. They had an entire storyline, entire Deathstroke storyline, and they said, don't do this. Because we're going to be doing this in the movie, and then they said now it's switched around, so now you can bring it back and do it.
They were referring to both the past and the present. They said no, we changed it, then we got him back, so we did the finale with him, and now we have him moving forward under certain guidelines.
I still believe that Deathstroke will show up in the movies, but certainly there's no way it's going to happen before 2019 because there's only one movie coming out next year. So I think
that's why they went back on it.
And you don't think he's going to be in that movie?
What's that? Oh, Aquaman? I don't think he's going to be in Aquaman.
You don't think he's going in the water?
I'm a fish saying.
But he knows the
that he's not a
Deathstroke.
fish.
That was pretty. That was a really good bad joke, Roxy. Come on. And somebody just told you before to stop fishing for jokes, but you just came back with a bad fish joke.
Shows you. Margot Robbie says that she is going to be Harley again in the near future. When exactly was her quote? She
no
said,
way.
Shocking.
Nobody loved her character.
Wrong.
Well, what I thought was interesting about it, she said that she was going to be donning the fishnets and wielding the baseball bat.
Next year, she says.
The totes of fish.
The fishnet.
Totes of fishnets. Next year, but then when asked for what movie, she said, your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah, so your guess is good as mine. At this point, I don't know. And I believe her that she doesn't know. I don't think our guess is as good as hers because I think she's probably between 3 things. She's like, it's going to be one of these couple things. But honestly, actually, maybe our guess is as good because let's talk about what it could possibly be.
Well, it's going to have to be...
Could she possibly be in...
Suicide Squad 2, Gotham City Sirens, or
I thought she said
Joker.
I thought she said it was the Suicide Squad 2 was the one that she knew about. I don't have the quote in front of me.
But isn't Siren supposed to be happening soon enough?
That was also in the rumor mill,
It's
but
in
I think
development.
what Margot Robbie had said was she only was aware of a Suicide Squad 2 sequel and not the other rumors that she was not aware of yet.
Well, Suicide Squad 2 wouldn't be shocking if it went into production at some point next year. I mean, considering we are now...
it definitely will go into production. 100%. It's a fish. That's happening next year because it's just got a new director.
Okay.
And it's fairly fast-tracked.
And, we're already over a year since its release, so that puts us at a moment about 3 years in between movies.
So we know Shazam is going into production next year. We
Sure.
know Suicide Squad 2 is going into production next year. And we think maybe Flashpoint is. Am I wrong? Am I missing anything? Is there
No, I
anything
think
else?
that's actually pretty accurate.
Yeah.
And then maybe by the end of next year, The Batman is probably going into production. Mid to end of next year. So possibly 4.
Possibly
of them.
Sirens though too next year.
No, because if they're doing a Suicide Squad 2 production
Maybe
next
you're
year,
right, yeah.
I would think it would
they're
be
gonna
weird
push
if both of those
Sirens.
go into production next year. So that's what I think. What do you guys think? Am I missing anything, chat roll? What else is...
well, when do you think Joker,
Joker
standalone,
standalone.
is going to go into production?
Oh.
Like, that's, first of all, that's an if that happens thing.
Yeah.
And then I would see
You'd say 2020?
2019 into
2019.
production, probably. But, you know, if
would
that
think
were to come
2020.
together, God, who knows?
What
I
about
mean,
Shazam?
that's going in production
Early
early next year.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's the next one.
Yeah.
The next one to actually go into
So
production.
they say, swervers.
So they say. And
All
it's
right.
interesting.
So we got a new image of Jared Leto as Joker that
J-Lat.
dropped this week. I don't know where it came from, but it's a different angle of what he's about to do to Miss Harleen.
I think these kind of things are funny when they happen. Like,
Yeah.
the internet goes wild because a movie that we already saw with a character we've already seen in a scene we've already seen releases an image of a different angle, and everybody's like, look at this new picture
Yeah.
of Jared Leto in that film you saw.
Not to interrupt, but everyone is reminding me Joker 2, Wonder Woman 2. Joker 2. Wonder
Wonder
Woman
Woman
2
Wonder
is
Woman
most
2.
likely going into production next year.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's
Yeah,
true
yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
Uh-huh. Good point.
Cyborg, no way.
No, not Cyborg.
No ways,
Wonder
yes.
Woman 2, yes.
And lastly, we'll shave a Shazam rumor is what we're gonna do before we get into TV time.
Wait, we gotta put on the
Yeah.
shaving cream. Put it on, guys. Adam.
I use an electric razor.
Oh,
Fair enough. So, new rumor, Derek Thaler, or Thieler, I guess, could be, well, he's kind of campaigning to be Shazam. He posted a photo on Instagram of him and The Rock, and then also there was a heavily photoshopped picture of him looking like a pretty decent
white
Shazam.
boy. White boy.
It's like
White
him
boy.
doing he's doing the Tyrese move.
Yeah.
With like really good Photoshop images.
It says,
Yeah.
the dream, Captain Marvel has always been a favorite, and at The Rock is my hero. Thanks for the support. Hashtag Shazam.
So some fan-
Hashtag Captain Marvel.
I'm assuming a fan made these and sent it to him, and he's like, sure, why not? I'll Tyrese it up.
Or
a
maybe
bit.
he's really good at Photoshop and likes to put
I feel
himself
like a
in
fan
shit.
probably did that.
I think you might.
that would
be a
be
safe bet.
that would be epic if he
I would
photoshopped
laugh
this
my
himself.
ass off if
Yes.
he did. He's like, look what somebody sent me.
Thanks for the support
That
to
could've been
myself.
fantastic.
Yeah. You know, it depends how far this goes, and that's whether I respect it or not. Like, at this point, cool. I think you look great. Put your name out there, totally. If you pull a Tyrese and 2 years later you're still throwing your name out there, it's like they've heard it. So they either want you or not because they've heard it.
Clearly, this is a really good-looking guy. He's got a little bit too much of a modelly smolder in that stare. It doesn't look like a Shazam look, but I mean, I've never seen the guy act, and if he's a fantastic actor, he could pull it off. He certainly has the size to pull it off.
I don't know.
He kind of looks like he could have been it could be a Chris Pratt situation, though, where he could do serious, he could do silly.
His Instagram says wannabe superhero as well.
Or Hemsworth. I mean, Hemsworth does that so
Yeah.
well. Like Hemsworth's Thor has a lot in common with like how I kind of imagine Shazam being, almost like with a Tick vibe. You know, like wanting to do the right thing, but he's also gonna be this kid. Like he's not gonna know adult type things.
Yeah.
I know who Derek Thieler is now. He's on Baby Daddy.
Yes.
Okay.
Free fall.
Got it. He isn't really. Yeah. I mean, hell, he looks like he could pull it off, but and he has a comedy background, so I don't know. It's an option.
Okay.
Anybody seen Baby Daddy out there?
I still think John Cena is honestly like probably just because of his number one, he looks the part, and his social media.
You keep
following
going back
is
and
insane.
forth on him.
Yeah.
I know. I'm not saying I think he's the perfect choice. I think he's the leading choice, largely because of his social media following. He will drive kids and their parents to theaters.
But it's the same following as The Rock.
Oh, I don't know about that. I mean, The Rock has gone way more global with his following.
Yeah.
Cena still has the pro wrestling fans, and
But there was that quote from Sophie Tucker from Game of Thrones where she even said, you know, social media makes such a big influence now that she feels that she's been recently given roles that she was like, it's only because of my social media following. And there were actors who would have been better for that part, but I got it because of social media.
Trust me, I've lost out on jobs to like YouTubers and stuff that don't know what the hell they're doing, but because they're following, they get jobs.
Yeah, damn them YouTubers. Who would do that?
I'm just
Who would try to
saying.
talk on the YouTubes to get a
we're
better
doing it right now.
following to make
By the way, make sure to
living.
subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Some of the people in the chat roll
Popcorn
have
Talk
seen
Network.
Baby Daddy.
What's that?
So is he good? You've seen
mean-
Baby Daddy Ivan, but is he good? What's he like?
Who knows?
All right. All right. All
Well,
right.
now it's
All
time.
right. All right. All right. All right.
It's time, I think.
Baby Daddy's a TV show. And we don't talk about TV shows on
Unless
this movie
it's-
program.
Unless
Until...
it's
Play it down low.
Adam's cooking so divine. Also Mikey Christmas time.
Mikey Christmas time.
TV time.
thank you to Matt Volmar and Volmar Music on the social medias. Roxy, take it away.
So, there's an episode of Preacher this week. We will save talking about that till the end as to not give spoilers for those of you who don't want them. I already did that earlier to Elena, and I'm not planning on doing it to you guys. Not today. Not in my house.
Not on her watch.
Where are we? Is this my house?
What are you doing?
Yes.
Daddy. All right, so Gotham, guys. Gotham's coming back very soon. I feel like it's in a week from now, honestly. I don't know if that's accurate, but I just threw that out there, and maybe it is. September 21st. Is that a week from now?
September 21st is, yeah. It's
That
in
is,
a week.
Yeah,
Today's
that
the
is literally in a
14th,
week from
yeah.
now. So it's 1 week from now. We'll be saying that it would be airing that night. But this, what actually happened is they're talking about Lucius Fox, which is nice because I feel as if I loved last season even more than I loved the previous seasons, but his character does jack crap.
Okay.
Is jack crap an expression?
I like it a lot.
It is
Jack
now.
Crap
Jack
is a
Crap.
character on Gotham this season.
The producer, Danny Cannon, recently said, quote, yes, Lucius is beginning to suspect that Alfred and Bruce might have a double life and politely weaves his way in. Lucius has worked for Wayne Industries and he may work there again one day. And for right now, he doesn't want to see Bruce get hurt. So he finds a way helping without interfering. People took that a step further, and there's a lot of thoughts about how he's designing the, I don't know if we can call it the Batman costume, because that's not what it is, but you guys remember what we saw in the previous trailer where he's got like that robber mask on or whatever you
It
want.
looks like he's got a costume with like just no
Or,
horns.
it's
No
an interesting
ears.
thing, but a lot of people are saying that maybe that was designed by him or that's how he's helping, that kind of thing. I'd just be excited to see him get more involved in the story.
We're going to be having a conversation in a couple of weeks, maybe a month or so, about how this little junior Batman experiment is going to go. To me, it's one of the riskiest things they've tried, but they're also
Little baby Batman.
little baby Batboy and Batmite, and they're also doing it with like the little baby Joker. Like they're bringing that guy back, and then he's got a sidekick
Jerome.
too. They're bringing Jerome back, and I think Jerome is now going to be with the bad Bruce Wayne too.
Yeah, and it's the... He is bad, but he is more innocent and confused, and he's getting messed with. The doppelganger Bruce.
Doppelganger Bruce.
But with Jerome, it was interesting too because he, that actor whose name I'm spacing on right now, but I love him from Shameless. He was trying to throw his name in the ring to be the Joker in the standalone, which
Oh, yeah.
that's tough break because I don't think he'll get it. What the hell is his name? Cameron Monaghan.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah, he's amazing. But anyway, that's what's going on with Gotham. Moving on to Supergirl. This is exciting to me and probably only me.
I'm sure there's plenty of people that'll be excited as well.
Why? Because they're Pretty Little Liars fans?
Sure. It's a popular show. A lot of
It
people
is.
watched it.
It is a popular show. Chad Lowe, who you guys would know from the show as Arya's dad, is not only
And wasn't he in Party of Five back in the day or something?
Was he?
possibly
Initially,
That's who's dad?
he's been in the game.
Arya on Pretty Little Liars.
Oh, okay.
He's been in the game a long time.
But he is not only starring in an episode of Supergirl, but he's also directing, which is really cool.
Nice.
And it was interesting. I liked hearing what they're going to do a little bit with his character on Supergirl. I can't find it here right now, but I'll try to summarize it for you guys. It seemed to me like he's going to be, oh, here we go. He'll play Thomas Coville, a charismatic religious leader with a surprising connection to Supergirl. His cult basically worships the Girl of Steel. He's a deeply spiritual man committed to preaching his faith and transforming his followers' lives. This kind of sounds a little bit like BVS territory, where there are some worshipers, and then there's probably going to be some anti-Supergirl because of destruction that has happened.
Oh, okay.
That's what I take from that. So that will be interesting. The episode that he's going to be in is aptly titled The Faithful. So look out for that. And yeah, I'm excited about him.
Did
coming
you
on.
get
Chad Lowe.
this? Did you get this Adam Strange casting on Krypton?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so
Krypton.
Sean Sipos from the show Dark Matter, also Vampire Diaries, has been cast as Adam Strange on Krypton, which is the other out of
Sci-fi.
the CW. Yeah, it's on Sci-Fi. So also, in addition to all the CW shows, we have Titans, which is going to be in 2018.
Say it right, please.
Titans.
Thank you.
Titans.
So Titans
Streaming
is going to be
service.
on the streaming service, and then Krypton's going to be on Sci-Fi, and Gotham's out there. So does that mean that there's 5 if you count Black Lightning, different
Are you counting Vertigo?
multiverses?
Because you're talking Lucifer, Preacher.
Oh God, man, there's a
lot.
lot of different DC verses out there.
There's so
yeah,
much.
there are a lot. And then there was and then there's the animated show that's supposed to be coming to the streaming service too.
They're really prepping
Oh,
for it.
yeah. Season 3 of Young Justice.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh my good.
So speaking of that streaming service, there's a couple casting, not news, but information let out about Titans and what they're looking for. It seems like they're doing these not open casting calls, but they're looking for people to self-submit. So one of the casting calls that they're looking for is, his name is Jax. They're asking for self-tapes. He's male. He's 13 to 15 years old, Asian, funny, self-deprecating, and charming. People are taking that and assuming that it is them looking for Beast Boy. Part of the thing that was interesting about this to me was the age, 13 to 15. It seems like they're really making a well-rounded group age range here on this show. There's young, there's middle young, there's older, and then there's much
like
older.
middle young
Middle
as
young.
a
There's
classification.
middle young. Another piece of casting, again, not news, but thing that is happening, is the Acolyte, who I don't know much about. Male, African-American, 40 to 50, confident, the villain of our story. He's after Rachel and her powers, trying to kidnap her after he murders her mother.
Snap.
How dare you? So that's
Not a nice guy.
supposedly the big bad, and that was released too. So some Titans stuff going on.
I love that Beast Boy casting. And then I was also...
Who would do you have anybody in mind? I feel like that's a really hard thing to cast for.
Yeah, I don't know
Young.
like really young Asian American actors like names off the top of my head, but I just love that character so much, and I think it makes sense to make a younger character. I have since, by the way, zoomed in on the Barry Allen picture, and I do see what people are talking about, this Captain Cold thing, because
What?
it says cold resistance.
Sure, I saw that
said
part.
that.
Oh, you did? Okay, sorry. I'm on a different show, guys. And then what about this guy? Is this Reverse Flash? Because people were talking about Reverse Flash as well. Or is that just
Where
Flash's
are we
head?
talking about?
I think that's just Flash.
His own like heads-up display?
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't know though.
Okay, I'm going
Could not
backwards,
be.
guys. Sorry.
One of them's
I
facing
think
one
they're
way,
just
one's
saying
the other.
because
Maybe it's
they
reversed.
have it each facing another way.
It's
that
reverse
supposed to
angle?
go.
Literally
Yeah.
reverse.
Like when Jason Fabok did like the button and it has like they flipped it, the comic.
All right.
Preacher was great.
Yeah, going into Preacher. Should we not do spoilers? Just so good. The finale was excellent.
You could do spoilers if
Where
you want.
we're going for the next season, I'm so excited because where I thought we were initially going to start the first season, which would, or at least end the first season, which was at Grandma's house, because God, she's the craziest character that ever lived, and I'm so excited for her and the two uncles. That's just like a batshit situation, but that's what I'm really excited for. And now we're finally getting to that point. The Hitler stuff.
Hitler stuff is
I won't
crazy.
say more,
I
but
need
like,
to catch up so bad.
but I just knew it.
Man Dog.
Man dog situation going on. Everything with Tulip. Whoo! And now I'm just naming characters. The show is excellent. The finale
Hairstar.
was wonderful. Hairstar kills the game. He's so good, and I love watching his dynamic with Jesse as it changes and as we go, and what they have to deal with each other. That's great.
Papa. What about you, Papa?
Yeah.
What about you, Papa?
Oh Lord.
Dennis, can you behave yourself? What about you, Papa? Sorry, I was.
Papa.
It's kind of fun to say.
Yeah, so Preacher, if you haven't heard us say it enough, God, that show is so good. You have to watch it if you like weird shit.
There you go. Well, with that said, what a show it's been. Elena Jordan, put yourself over.
You guys can find me on Twitter at Elena Jordan and on Instagram at That Elena Jordan Girl. You can also find me on AfterBuzz TV doing the after shows for Teen Wolf and now for American Horror Stories back.
Nice. That, I gotta tell you, first two episodes, it's making no sense to me. I don't know how they're gonna pull it together, but they generally find a way to do it, I think. I mean, last season was a little messy in more ways than one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But we'll see.
Adam, that's you.
Oh, yes. I will talk to you about Mother next week. Whether I thought of that film, I know the very divisive Mother. And maybe some more DC stuff. Oh, I feel like this is going to be a big week. I think we're getting a new trailer for Justice League before next Thursday. There, I said it. Final trailer for Justice League drops this week. It just came to me in a flash.
Ooh.
It's a fish.
Adam just had a premonition.
A fish announcement.
There you go.
A premonition.
All right, guys, I'm Roxy Striar. You can find me everywhere at Roxy Striar. If you are interested in matchmaking, because who isn't? Patty Stanger is coming on The Tomorrow Show tonight. She's Millionaire Matchmaker, so tune in to thetomorrowshow.com. I don't know yet. Why, you want to come?
But yeah.
We'll talk about it.
I've been trying to get on that damn show.
thetomorrowshow.com, 7 p.m. Pacific time. That's tonight, Thursday. If you're watching later than that, then check it out. Also, Tuesdays, 4 p.m. over on Screen Junkies. Go to Screen Junkies News. Watch TV fights. TV. Roxy Striar, TV.
Like it.
Thanks.
We're at DC Movies SK on Twitter, Facebook.com/DC Movies SK. Once again, thank you to Todd Stashwick for joining us last week. I'm at Jay Quasto. Guys, go to QuastoAlbum.com and you can pick up my brand new comedy album. It's been out over a month now. It made the top 10 on Billboard, and it's probably the coolest thing I've ever made. It'll be well worth the couple of dollars. That's QuastoAlbum.com. Otherwise, JLoComedy.com. And Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, we officially hit 110 stations on the CW starting October 7th all throughout the country, and we have another huge event on Saturday, September 23rd in Southern California. Other than that, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We love you. We'll see you next week.
I mean, it comes out November 17th.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of its owners or principals.